Alright, so before we actually get ready to go to the gym, I'm about to break down a simple breakdown on literally everything you need to know to get stronger and to build muscle all in one. I have a workout program that's going to be linked in the description of this YouTube video. If you want to check it out for further more details, it'll be in there. But I'm going to discuss most of everything you need to know in order to build muscle while getting stronger. The things that I've done, the things that I have progressed and overall, the things that I have overallly progressed and seen the most progress in. So when I first started, I used to do high volume, high reps, high intensity, right? I saw progress. I gained muscle, right? But one thing that I was lacking in was strength. There was things that I wasn't really getting that stronger at. I was getting bigger, but I was getting bigger at a shorter amount of time. I was eating enough food, I was training right, but I was still, growing slowly, and I was still getting barely any stronger. I was just doing lightweight, high reps and very high intensity. I would still go beyond failure and have that intensity portion to my workout, but the only problem was that I used to do so many reps, I used to do so many sets. So I'm about to give y'all the simple breakdown. I'm gonna be quick with this. I'm back at to get groceries. 1 second. So what I wanted to say was, this is the simple breakdown on how to get stronger and build muscle all at the same time and see progress quickly. Like, not just progress every once in a while. You're going to be progressing every 3 to 2 weeks. So let's say if your max dumbbell curl was, actually I'm gonna use dumbbell press for example. Let's say if your max dumbbell press was 70 pounds, right? 3 or 2 weeks later, out of nowhere, you're repping that weight for 5 reps or higher, or maybe 3 reps, or maybe 2 reps, maybe even more reps. All right, anyways, y'all get the point, how to get stronger and all that, quick amount of time, whatever, things of that nature. So the first thing you need to do is 2 sets till failure every exercise. That's all you need. You only need 2 sets till failure every exercise. High intensity beyond failure. Get a weight that you can at least hit 5 to 8 reps with. The rep range that you need to be in is 5 to 8 reps. Either 5 to 8 rep range or 6 to 8 rep range. Either those two. If you could do more than 6 reps, you do more than 6 reps. If you could do more than 8 reps, then you do more than 8 reps. You always want to get a weight that you can't do more than 8 or more than 6 reps with. You need to get a weight that's heavy enough. Start every single set heavy. So your first set should be your top set. That should be the weight that you're going heavy on first, right? And then the second set is going to be a weight that's heavy, but you just lower it a little bit to the point where you could do more reps. So let's say if the first set you do 5 reps, right? And you want to end up increasing that rep range. So you just lower the weight and get a weight that you can at least hit 6 to 8 reps with. Or let's say, for example, let's say if you get a weight that you think you can hit at least 5 to 8 reps with, right? And you end up only doing 2 reps with that weight, and that's basically like a little PR weight. You only end up hitting 1 rep or 2 reps or maybe 3 reps. That's basically barely anything, right? You just increase the set. So let's say your first set, you end up doing 2 to 3 reps, right? Wow, that's barely enough reps. So then you do your second set and you get at least 6 to 8 reps with that weight, right? Then you add a third set. The only time that you should be increasing the set is when you barely did any reps throughout the workout. Let's say if you did like your first set as 3 reps, that's barely any reps at all. You need at least 6 to 8 or 5 to 8, at least that rep range. First set, if you barely do a lot of reps, make sure you do a lot of reps on the second. Third set, a lot of reps. Then you're good. Next exercise. Always start off heavy. I believe starting off heavy is the best thing you could do. If you haven't done the movement in a long time and you want to hit a PR, I recommend this. I feel like the best thing you could do is, progressing wise, do not do 1 rep maxes. If you keep doing 1 rep maxes every single week, you will not see progress. Do not 1 rep max. Don't test out your max until like a couple weeks later, like at least 5 weeks later, or maybe even a month later. I feel like, me personally, when I seen the most progress was me taking a 4 to 5 or maybe 3, only 3. The minimum I would do is 3 weeks. 3 weeks, a 3-week break of seeing what my max is. And I will go back to see what my max is, and then I'll end up, pressing the weight. Let's say, because back then, my max, just for example, my max dumbbell bench on incline was 80s, right? No, yeah, it was 85s, and I was only able to hit that for 1 rep. 2 weeks later, I went to the gym and hit it for 5 reps. So, you know, the progress was there. That's a lot of progress, way more progress than it is. And judging by how much reps I did, 85 pounds is definitely not my max anymore. It would probably be 90s right now for at least 1 to 2 reps. Because if I hit 85s for 5 reps, then I definitely could hit, 90s for at least 1 rep. So I'm not going to go for a PR until maybe 4 weeks later. I'm going to wait 4 weeks or maybe 5 weeks. I don't know. I'm going to wait. All right, another thing. I'm going to repeat this again. You only need 2 sets. If you want to increase the amount of sets you do, then, well, if you do like a little bit of reps on the first set, if you're forced to add another set, then you just add another set. But other than that, you only need 2 sets to a failure. The only time you should be adding a third set is if you barely did enough reps on the first, like you did like 1 rep or 2 reps, and that's basically not enough. So always add in a third set if you barely did enough reps on the top set. Also, if you doing 1 to 2 reps on an exercise, that's a sign the weight is way too heavy. So do not lift that weight. Remember, only lift the weight that you can hit at least 5 to 6 reps with, 5 to 8 reps with, and make sure you got that intensity. Make sure you're going until failure. Make sure once you get to that end part, it's not needed. But the best thing that I like to do to get my chest or whatever muscle I may say more sore is by doing a lot of partials. That's what I call beyond failure. The way you go beyond failure is once you get at that until failure mark, once you get to that until failure mark where you can't even put the weight up, you start putting out half reps and partials, even though you already finished the set. That gets my chest or whatever muscle I'm training more sore. I like to do that a lot because I just want to feel more of I just want to keep going through that pain. And the only way I'm able to go more, go through that pain even more and even longer is if I do partials. So that's the simple breakdown. I gave y'all the simple breakdown. Now I'm going to bring up the strength-wise. I'm pretty sure I already explained the strength portion, but I'm going to explain it again. So let's say, for example, your max weight is 70 pounds on, and I'm gonna do like I'm gonna do an incline bench example. Let's say if your incline bench max is 135, right, and you can only hit that for 1 rep. So then you get a weight that you can hit at least 5 to 6 to 8 reps with, right? A weight that's really heavy, a weight that's heavy, but you can at least hit 6 to 8 or 5 reps with that weight. You want to be using that exact weight for months to come. You want to, not even months, like a couple weeks. You just want to keep using that same exact weight for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And obviously, once that first set is over, then you lower the weight on the second set. But make sure it's still heavy, but not too, light. Like, make sure the weight is like, let's say if you did 6 reps on your first set, then you lower the weight and you're able to do 8 reps on the second set because the weight is obviously lighter. Or if you do 5 reps on the first set, then you up the weight and then you end up doing 6 reps or 8 reps on the second. Anyways, all you need to do is use a weight that's at least like 80% of your strength, 80 to 70% of your strength, and you just rep that completely. This is a heavy weight that's at least 70 to 85% of your strength. You just rep that consistently. And then after a couple weeks go by, you progressive overload and you end up making the weight heavier. So let's say if your max was 135, right? You end up putting at least like a 5-pound plate or a 2.5-pound plate. You end up increasing the weight. And by then, I would say if your PR was already 135, right? And that, I don't say increase the weight. I would say test out how much reps you can hit with your max. So if you end up seeing progress, if let's say if you was only able to hit 135 for 1 rep a couple weeks ago, right, and you was doing everything I told you to do, right, it's also comes to eating enough. If you end up seeing that you're able to do way more reps than you did a couple weeks go by, that means you're doing everything right. That means you did everything I just told you completely right. If you're not, you're missing out on something. So if you go back to this video a couple weeks later and you don't see what I'm talking about, then you got to go to the parts of my videos and just keep, scrolling to the parts what I'm saying and just really pay attention to what I'm saying. Because all this stuff I've been doing, like everything I've been doing, that's where I've been seeing the most progress at. That's why I've been seeing the most strength. That's why I've been getting strong. That's how I've been getting bigger. So if anybody wants to tell you otherwise, telling you random things about, this is how you get strong, you can't get stronger doing this and that, disignore it. This is the most simplest video. This is the most simplest thing I could ever tell you. I'm a 16-year-old giving y'all advice. And there be grown men giving other people advice, and they be giving y'all false info. There's even people that's, more knowledgeable than I am, that know more about bodybuilding than I do, that could give you some good advice as well. But I'm going to give it to y'all more simpler, I should say. Simply is not a word, but more simpler, something simple, I should say.